Hey everybody, Mr. Bookaboo here, and today this is going to be a part 2 video of my modular mountain building. I got a lot of questions in the last video and I wanted to kind of circle around and answer those, but answer them in a video format because sometimes it's a lot easier with a visual than to try to type it all out and explain it in a comment. So without further ado, let's take a look at the modular mountains again just briefly, and we're going to look in detail at the parts that I actually used to build the mountains. And then I'm actually going to show you some of the unique techniques that I've used. And I'm going to use my Hogsmeade MOC as an example. I'm going to show you the panels, like in effect, how they're actually in with a MOC. And then also I'm going to show you, because I have a lot of questions on the angular corner burps that I used for the waterfall effect, and how that actually fits into the modular and how it actually incorporated that in. Because it's actually a unique placement. It's actually offset. So it doesn't... it's actually it's at a 90-degree angle. It doesn't fit in like normally, like you would think. So let's take a closer look at the parts that are used, and then we'll dig into closer detail with some of the techniques that go behind the mountain building. All right. All right. So as far as the parts go, it's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Of course, you have the burp, which is the key for my mountain building. I know these parts are much maligned over the years and kind of became the joke for a long time, but I feel they're very cost efficient and you can do a lot with them, especially when you're considering that the mountains they're a background piece, right? So it's not something that you necessarily want to focus on. You want to draw attention to it, but it's a background element. And so this is a very quick and efficient way for you to build up some height, rather than using bricks. I think I made one of these out of bricks a long time ago, and it was like 40 or 50 bricks if I remember correctly. So it's not a cheap endeavor to mountain build. With the burps, it's a lot more efficient. You can actually get these on bricks and pieces direct from Lego. They're fairly affordable, and again, it's just a really quick way to get started when you start building. And as you can see with the sample behind me here, of a panel brick wall, mountain wall, it's pretty, you can vary it up, you can make it look good. It's very simple, the technique. Some of the parts, of course, you have the corner burp, which you can use for various purposes. If you want to do ravines, if you want to do waterfalls, these are fantastic. If you want to do the ends of the mountains and you want to do like slopes going up, this is really good for that as well. I don't tend to use as many of those as I do with the traditional burp, but still very useful pieces. And then of course you have these are the bricks. These are the basic, at a very basic level, these are the main bricks that you're going to need for any kind of mountain building. 2x3 slopes, 1x2 slopes, 1x1 slopes, the cheese wedge. And these all, you can see them all in various effects down here. Just give you a variety. They just mix things up. It gives you the slopiness of the mountain, so it really helps you kind of define the shape of the mountain. And then of course these are the supporting elements that kind of go with that. The bricks are essential because you're going to need to stack bricks underneath these slopes sometimes to get them to fit in, and you can see that in various spots. If you look around, you'll see where the bricks kind of fall into place. But 1x1s, you tend to go through a lot of those. 1x2s as well, not so much the 1x3s, but once in a while, especially on the lower parts of the mountain panel, you'll tend to use more of those. The angles you use a lot, especially on the edges. And then of course, if you want variation, plates are very useful because it tends to get very uniform, and you can easily slip into making everything the same, like all the panels the same or each section the same, because the burps are, these are all the same, right? So you can easily say, oh, I'm going to put a slope here, which is a logical place because then you have a gap there, and then you can kind of do this with another slope, and then you can stack a brick under here like that. And it's basically that simple. And then you figure, oh, I'm going to do something over here maybe to fill in this gap. You can vary the height of it. There's all kinds of creative things that you can do, but it's easy to get into that monotony and that very repetitiveness of it. So you want to keep varying it. You want to keep mixing it up. And if you look again at this panel, you can see how I've kind of done that. This one is it's actually a work in progress. I still have to add little elements like over here. I have to fix a few things here and there, but it's just, it's just having fun with it, mixing it up. Now, one important thing to note, these burps, if you put 3 of them across, it's not 32 studs wide. It's actually 30. So when you build it, you're actually going to, if you see on the side here, you actually have to expand out just one brick on each side to get it to fit on a 32 wide base plate. So just keep that in mind. And again, these are the supports behind it. It's just 2x2 bricks with a 2x4 at the bottom. Snaps together, holds this together. It makes it very sturdy, so it's not going to fall apart. This is also excellent for supporting columns underneath, which I'm going to show you when we go take a closer look at the Hogsmeade MOC in a moment. And you can see how it all kind of comes together. So those are your elements. And of course, you can mix it up with the snow pieces. In some of my other mountains, I've actually done light bluish gray to kind of give like the mountains kind of fallen away and left the exposed rock underneath it. And of course, you want to put plants and foliage all over it to just really kind of spruce it up. And we'll take a closer look at that as well in just a minute. All right, so here we have Hogsmeade. You've probably seen this before, but again, today we're going to focus on the actual mountain part of it. And I've kind of deconstructed a few pieces of this so you can see close up how it all kind of snaps together. So again, this is the basic foundational work. This is how it looks when it's completed. And then if we start to go over here, you're going to notice that right away it's a little bit different. You can see how you don't actually have to do the mountains behind the buildings for two reasons. A, you're not going to see it. If I take this building and plop it in right here, you can quickly see where did the panels go. You don't even see them. You put a few trees in the way and it's completely blocked. It's the same thing over here. I put small little walls back here. You don't see it. You don't know it's there. It's a waste of burps, and more importantly, it's a waste of real estate behind. So as you go vertical, each mountain panel is stepping back one, and so if you do that down below here, you're going to get more depth back here, but you're also going to be further out. So if you're trying to stay on a 10-inch shelf, a one base plate, or if you're limited on space, you want to go high as fast as you can. And these panels here are an easy way to do that. There's a little cutouts in the bottom here for wiring, so I can just shove the wires for the buildings straight through there. And then of course the back is hollow, so you can work back there. Now, this area with the waterfall, this was an area that I got a lot of questions on. How'd you do that? How does that work? Because if you notice, those corner burps, they're actually not aligned with the brick with the studs. It's actually floating on top of the studs right there. So I'm going to show you and actually show you again how this all kind of comes apart. So this piece right here, it's modular. Pops right out like that. So you can see this one's a little unique because it has to incorporate the angle plates to fit the angle of the angle corner burps there. So we'll set this aside, and then you can see down below here how it just sits in there. It's just kind of floating. And of course, with these tiles on top, this fits perfectly with the top of that piece that I just popped off. And so the whole thing is very snug and secure. There's actually, you can see there's a support column behind there. It's black, so you can barely see it. But that's actually also kind of holding all this stuff up here. And knocked off a little bit of the wall, but that's okay. So that's holding this area back here up. You don't see these cutouts here at all because it's covered by this piece right here, right? And then you can see this piece, it's loose in here. It'll actually just slide right out. If I can take it out very gently, you can see how it comes right out. Now, the important thing to note is because you don't want to have air gaps in between there, so I actually built out the walls. It's a pretty substantial piece. A, because it's fragile and I didn't want it to break while I'm transporting it, but also B, it hides the ugly stuff behind there. You can see the whole gap there, and as we slide this back into place and get that in place, you can see how you can't see anything on the sides there when this is properly in place like that. And then we take this piece right here, and this just slides right back in place here like that. Of course, I have to stamp it, like tap it down, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then we take this piece here, and this will go right here. And this is the top piece, and this is going to go right in here, and I'll see if I can do it one-handed without wrecking everything. Like that. Okay, it's not going to stay because I don't have the bottom piece secured. Well, there you go. It's staying for now. So there you go. It's that simple. So if you have any further questions, let me know. Hopefully you found this useful. Again, the key is modularity. You gotta just always be thinking in terms of I need to take this apart, I need to move it around, and if you start thinking in those terms, it makes it really easy to plan. Now, I've had to build and rebuild this a couple times because I didn't take my own advice and keep it modular. But as I've done it, it's become easier and easier. So again, it's Lego. It's okay to tear it apart. It's okay to rebuild. That's part of the fun. And you can always, fix and modify things. And as you learn, you improve and get better. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed for more exciting Lego ideas and content. And once again, thank you to all of you. I appreciate you all. Take care. Bye.